what would the perfect orchestral environment be? What should it sound like?
It's going to be beautiful. It's state-of-the-art.
It'll be the classical music center for the city.
There's something really magical about spaces where people prepare their work and show people their work. It's a place not only where Orchestra of St. Luke's will do all of that wonderful work, but where an entire sector of musicians working in New York will be able to do that work too.
About 15 years or so ago, a group of us got together, and one of the questions that came up was, what is it that the New York community of musicians needs? Do you need a new performance facility? We all looked at each other and realized our biggest need was for a proper rehearsal facility.
Often where we rehearse is more harmful than good. Sometimes it's too wet, sometimes it's too dry. We have difficulty hearing each other. I mean, if we could rehearse in Carnegie Hall all the time, that would be great, but we can't.
The DiMenna Center is a space for musicians to do their best work, their best preparation. It's designed to provide you with everything that you need to have a great rehearsal. The right chairs, the right stands, the right lighting, a practice room for your concertmaster to warm up. All of these things are incredibly important, and there's never ever been a space that has all of those functions. There are a number of factors that go into making a perfect acoustical environment. One is to eliminate all the noise from outside of the space, from the city. The second thing is to have perfect room acoustics, which is that perfect calibration of clarity and bloom on the sound, which will make the musicians comfortable rehearsing in there.
It's all wood, which sounds amazing. My favorite halls in the world are generally filled with wood.
The acoustical slats that you see here have been specifically designed to be sound transparent, so the orchestra sound can pass through the slat to highly designed acoustic treatments behind.
We wanted a place of calm authority, and that was achieved by a degree of abstraction and simplicity that I think is very appealing.
I think for the orchestra it's wonderful to have this room and to have a rehearsal room with such a beautiful atmosphere. The sound is not the sound of a big concert hall, it's intimate, small, one can hear each other really well. So I think it suits the purpose of rehearsal room fantastically.
If you can rehearse in an acoustic that's beautiful, that's correct, that's balanced and homogenized, then you can really get something accomplished.
For me, I think it's the perfect acoustic for an orchestra rehearsing. I think we have a good balance of it being comfortable to play, but not overly flattering for rehearsal purposes. And that's ideal.
I think the attraction of the DiMenna Center to somebody who's looking for rehearsal space is that it's affordable, it's available, it's dedicated for this particular industry. It also provides a lot of supporting functions for your life, as it were. There's a place to hang out, there's a place to get a cup of coffee, there's a place to take a shower if you're moving on later in the day to play a performance, a fax machine in case you have a personnel emergency, libraries, the practice rooms. So I think the DiMenna Center really has everything you could possibly need as a classical musician to do your work and to prepare your work and to record your work. Location was an incredibly important part of finding a site for the DiMenna Center. It's on the far west side on 37th Street, in between 9th and 10th Avenues, which makes it extraordinarily accessible to all the other performing arts venues that the musicians work in.
Most of the artists, singers, musicians, they have to work together. They have to meet somewhere in neutral territory. And it's extraordinarily important to have your own space.
I think it's a wonderful place now where lots of different groups will commingle. It's not just orchestras, it's chamber ensembles, it's opera companies, it's choruses. So there's a kind of fabulous synergy in the building between musicians that we haven't had before.
I think it was essential for an orchestra of this quality to have a permanent home. This orchestra, St. Luke's, is a terrific orchestra, probably the best of its kind.
The DiMenna Center for Classical Music is truly made for music. And so many music groups from all across the city are really going to benefit from its resources.